We all know that guy. That extremist. That tinfoil hat-wearing conspiracy theorist. That guy who believes in UFO cover-ups, government mind control, COVID lab leaks, and Hunter Biden's laptop. And now that we know that all those things are 100% true, maybe you should take that guy's advice. You see, the term conspiracy theory has been used as an insult since the 1800s and popularized by the CIA to convince everyone that you're crazy if you don't trust the CIA's magic bullet theories. Nowadays, nobody trusts the government, and from mind control tech of the 70s to mass media propaganda of today, how even could they? But even if they're not reading our minds, our brains are being bombarded with radiation every day from cell towers, 5G, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. Even if you trust that all of Jeffrey Epstein's friends have your best interest in mind, they don't know the long-term effects of radiation on the brain. But I get it. You don't want to look like this guy. He looks like a homeless meth addict. Thankfully, we live in the future now, and not all technological advancements are evil, because now you can protect your brain while looking instead like this guy. His head is handsomely harbored in Project Tinfoil, the tinfoil hat of the future. He doesn't have to be self-conscious about his psychiatric security. He can confidently take on the world and the Illuminati in style. And when Harp manipulates the weather this winter, his head will be cozy and clear, because Project Tinfoil is lined with a silver mesh that blocks up to 99% of EMF radiation. So whether you're at work or play, keep the lizards away. Project Tinfoil has got you covered. Now, it may not stop CIA mind control, but, you know, you may be wrong about that one too.
I'm still talking. Can you hear me, aliens? Taxation is that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the least comfortable show on the internet. It is The System is Down. And I can't find my button. Shit. Off to a great start. Hello. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And by everyone, I mean you whites out there, because you're the only ones left celebrating this shit. We are here on The System is Down, where we talk about things like conspiracies, politics, and religion, and, with Dave. Dave!
What up?
What's up, man?
How are you, bro? Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm doing great. Happy Thanksgiving to you. If Black Friday is Friday and, I don't know, Brown Thursday is Thanksgiving, what is Wednesday? Do we have a color? Is it White Thursday or White Wednesday?
It's reserved
Happy
for the
White
whites.
Wednesday, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's right.
Leading into this very bigoted holiday, we're going to talk about some news, and there's a lot on the docket that we need to cover, including but not limited to we got to check in with some of our presidential candidates. We got to hear all about things like problematic holidays and sleep being racist, capitalism's bad, and Argentina, they just showed our entire movement what's what, and put us to shame. We're going to get into all that and much more momentarily, but before we do, let me remind you guys about my very favorite sponsor of this show, which is Somewhere. Nothing is working today. Which is you guys in the Downers Club. People like Maxwell, Meredith, Thought Offender, Kate, Paris, Grumpy Gnome, JC, Justin Savoy, Amy Lepore, Matthew Walrus, Zach Varnell, Andrew Something, Magoo, Break the Bell, Mike Stonehouse, SDG, Level Zero, Jack Casey. Why is that background music still playing? Trenton Campbell, Mary Rome, Justin Zelinsky, many more. If you want to get your name on that list and have it read incorrectly someday, go on over to patreon.com/thesystemsdown, where you'll get more weird, more raw, more offensive, more content, including the after parties, which we're not doing one today, but it is what it is. We are going to, we're gonna keep it all in the main hangar today because it's a holiday. And we want to share all of our gifts with you. I'm lying. It's because I have things to do, and we all have lives to live outside of this. So it might be a little long in this main episode. It might not be. Either way, you're not getting an after party, but you will get one soon. You can get all of our backlog, and you can support the show if you go to patreon.com/thesystemsdown. Dave, are you ready to roll the thing and do the thing?
Let's roll it. Do it.
Okay. This is the Thanksgiving special that I threw together in the last hour, and it has almost nothing to do with Thanksgiving. It's a bit of a stretch, but go out and share it with your friends and your enemies, especially your enemies, because they probably have something to learn. And yes, don't bury them in Elon Musk's graves. We're going to get into a lot of stuff. Go out and share it, and happy Thanksgiving. Let's get weird.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
I would ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that.
Have to stop before they do what I call activist support.
I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
These were possessing weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al Qaeda.
Handle the truth.
I remember that with Matthew Smotz. We are still here!
We have to say yes to social justice.
Let you know tomorrow. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
It is a big club, and you're not in it, but you're in this one. Happy Thanksgiving. The music's a little loud. Let me just turn that down. Okay, thank you. Again, we got to talk about a lot of problems, a lot of problematic things in the world, but Dave lives in Delaware, and he lives in the hive of scum and villainy, the problematic Delaware. Anything new in your neck of the woods, Dave? Any shout-outs you want to give? Anything?
No, man, not since we talked a little bit about the protest against genocide. That was kind of the last big event around here.
Did it work? Is the genocide over?
I think, they might have pulled something off. I did actually hear, I'm sure that these people weren't responsible for it, but I heard that ceasefire is on the table, that there might be some talks of that. So that would be nice.
That would be nice. And it's all thanks to the people of Delaware, the great state of Delaware. Thank you, Dave.
Only the Democrats in Delaware. We can
That's
thank those people. Yeah.
Of course. You got any Thanksgiving plans, Dave? Do you do the normal shit? The I don't know, the scalping or whatever. I don't know what people do for Thanksgiving.
White people shit. I make the potato salad with as little seasoning as possible.
Oh.
No, I'm in charge of dessert this year, and we don't have to travel far. Family lives right up the street, so we'll be walking over and enjoying some company. Yeah.
Nice. I'm in charge of the mashed potatoes because I am very white. Now, there is... So, have you heard of this guy, Matt Rife? Comedian?
Yes, but just recently.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he kind of came out of nowhere. It was kind of odd because he, blew up. I knew nothing about him up until a couple days ago. Knew nothing about him, just kept seeing his name in places and seeing his, his fish lips. And wondering, it was people mad about him, people happy about him, people saying he's amazing. I knew nothing about him. And I was on Netflix the other day, which is a rare occurrence for me, and I saw that Matt Rife had a special out. And I was not interested at all because I don't know this guy and I didn't care. And then I went on Twitter the other day, and Twitter was very angry at Matt Rife's new special for being problematic and controversial and misogynistic and what have you, which, of course...
Now I care.
This
is great.
I'm in. Let's go. So I went and watched it, and I laughed. I laughed quite a bit. And
oh, that's good news.
I'm afraid to say that on the internet because it is problematic. But that is the word of the day, in case you didn't catch on, as this is the most of problematic holidays. But Matt Rife got a bunch of backlash for his latest comedy special, and he had an interesting response. So this is from etonline.com, so it's legit. The comedian tried to insult critics who slammed his new Netflix special for its jokes about domestic violence. Stand-up comic Matt Rife stirred up controversy with his debut Netflix special Natural Selection, and the 28-year-old comedian didn't take the criticism without some pushback of his own. The joke in question comes toward the beginning of his set, in which He tells a story about being in a restaurant in Baltimore and was greeted by a hostess who had a black eye. Quote, of course, jokes in print always sound much worse than they are, and that it never lands quite the same. But here we go. Quote, I've only been in Baltimore one time. I ate lunch there, and the hostess who, seats you at the restaurant had a black eye, a full black eye. And it wasn't like, what happened? It was pretty obvious what happened, Rife said in the special. We couldn't get over the fact we're like, this is the face of the company? This is who you have greeting people? My boy, who I was with, was like, yeah, I feel bad for her. I feel like they should put her in the kitchen or something where nobody has to see her face, And I was like, yeah, but I feel if she could cook, she wouldn't have that black eye. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we're dealing with. So basically, comedian told jokes and people got offended. This is nothing new. But we've seen this before with the Dave Chappelle's and other comedians and stuff. First off, fuck you if you have a problem with a comedian doing his job and making people laugh, even just because your brain can't handle or process what jokes are. That is entirely on you. I'm sure the people who were most offended were women who couldn't understand the joke because they... Never mind. So last week I said lady logic. That was a joke, and I literally had an old woman in my comment section on YouTube that was offended by me saying lady logic. And I mean, I'm not a misogynist, but if you can't understand jokes, you're just justifying the misogyny. So you're just proving my point that you can't understand the joke. But this, whatever, there was the controversy, but Matt Rife's response to the controversy was, let's see. He said, if you've ever been offended by a joke I've told, here's a link to my official apology, he wrote, directing people to a health and medical equipment website selling helmets designed for use by people with special needs.
So awesome.
Of course, the insulting faux apology generated a new wave of criticism, and I can't wait to hear what his response to that will be. But yeah, good. This is a turning of the tides. This is a shift in the culture to where people are finally able to, we're getting a little bit away from you can still be offended, sure, but that doesn't mean we go on a Norm Macdonald apology tour, which is very sad that happened. It's very sad that we live in a world where Matt Rife has more balls than Norm Macdonald did, but or at least at the end of his career. That has everything to do with the political landscape, and it feels like this, Matt Rife, I don't think is more bold than Norm Macdonald. I think Matt Rife is living in a time where we're on the downswing of the outrage, and he's able to say, hey, go fuck yourself if you don't like it. Stop listening to it. And yeah, you got any thoughts on this, Dave?
Yeah, I think you're definitely right that we're on the downturn, and he kind of lucked out in that aspect. And I, he probably, like you said, we haven't not heard of this guy. We would not have been interested in his Netflix special. But I imagine his manager was like, yo, man, we sunk everything we have probably into this project. And we got one shot and we don't have much of an advertising budget. So go do some funny shit. Go self-promote this. And if that's what he's doing, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, applause.
This guy, it's his first comedy special. I think he was on Wild and Out or something else. He was a TV figure at one point, and then he just started doing stand up. I think recently. I think he was doing more. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I know, but it seems like it was more online content for a while. And he comes out of nowhere, and he's got booked solid tours everywhere. People are. It reminds me of the days of Dane Cook in the early years, where it was just this is the guy that everybody knows, and he's easily digestible, a little bit edgy and offensive, and makes us laugh. So good on him for doing that. And good on him for not backing down either, because as the culture shifts, we need more Matt Rifes saying things that are funny and offensive, and then when they get called out for it, flipping the bird and going about your day. He even talks about it in the special, how if somebody is giving him, he's a very defensive guy, and if somebody is trolling him on the internet, or not even trolling, but hypercritical, he just doubles down and triples down. I'm not a big fan of outrage culture or anything, but if you're outraged about a joke and somebody keeps telling meaner and meaner and meaner jokes, I think that's part of what this culture needs, given the fact that we're not allowed to have bullies anymore. We need at least a comedian who can punch back a little bit. And Dave Chappelle wasn't even great at that. He kind of bent the knee a little bit, tragically. But moving on. Speaking of very funny people and comedians at large, let's talk about Michael Rapaport. Do you know Michael Rapaport, Dave?
This fucking guy. Yeah, I know Michael Rapaport. Yeah, another one. Don't meet your idols because they'll all disappoint you.
Yeah. What's been your opinion of Michael Rapaport over the last, I don't know, 4 to 6 years?
I have to wonder. Like, I throw him into the bag of deplorables with Rob Reiner and the New York school dad or whatever that liberal Twitter account is, like these Stephen King, these people that like have other shit going on, but for some reason are just Democratic influencers.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, he was a hardcore never Trumper, and like his whole existence for a good while was Trump's bad, Orange Man bad, Trump's a fascist, Trump's this, Trump's that. Speaking of the turning of the tides, and this is coming from not a Trump supporter, but Michael Rapaport last week came out with this, which is muted.
If it comes down to pig dick Donald Trump and smoking Joe Biden, I'm sorry. I am sorry. Voting for pig dick Donald Trump is on the table. I'm sorry. I'm fucking I'll still call him slob dick Donald Trump, pig dick Donald Trump, and all that. But we need to get this whole fucking situation under control.
I'm sorry. It's amazing. It's like he's doing a character of himself.
Of Michael Rapaport. Yeah. It's bizarre, and it's like it's telling in where we are right now, where he's very, very begrudgingly like, I just can't. Like the part of us that was like, good, Joe Biden, get in there and let's push Joe Biden for a second term just so they have to eat their shit. It's happening. They're eating their shit. Like, Michael fucking Rapaport is like, I guess I have to vote for pig dick Donald Trump because y'all gave me Joe Biden for the last 4 years and I'm about to lose my fucking mind. Like, yeah, that's what we were saying from the beginning. And again, not a Trump supporter, but if I have to vote for pig dick Donald Trump, we're smoking Joe Biden.
Pig dick Donald Trump.
I'm not voting. But yeah.
Bro, that's fucking crazy. So maybe, like I jumped the gun on maybe that he's a Democratic influencer or whatever. Maybe it's just whatever flavor, needs him to do the thing.
He's been a pawn. Like,
he's a pawn,
he's gone
right?
along with the easiest status quo that he could over the last 4 years, and now he's just like, I fucking can't, and then my brain is broken.
Is the thing that he the whole time was, Russia collusion, you got the fucking Russia, and then, all the January 6th and the insurrection. He went through all that and he was all, fuck Trump. He's the worst thing on the planet. Is it Israel and Palestine? Is that the thing that was like, wait a second.
So. Yeah.
Joe Biden,
need to get this shit together. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All the Russia shit, all the J6 shit, that's been fixed. But now Israel needs our help.
Right.
And big dick Donald Trump might be the only one to save us. Sorry.
Yeah, it's bizarre. And like we were saying last week, like this whole Israel-Palestine conflict is completely shattering the Democratic Party because they're completely split down the middle between people who are like, we have to support Israel because they are our allies and they are democracy, blah, blah, blah. And the other half of the Democratic Party that is the more BLM type that is going on the side of Palestine and sometimes Hamas being the victims here. And yeah. It doesn't matter where you stand or I stand. It's just fun to watch them fight over it. So, but yeah, it's also fun to watch him just have a meltdown under the realization that Joe Biden wasn't the savior, the hero that everybody thought that Joe Biden was going to be, because Donald Trump was so evil and so heinous. All we could possibly do is slap a corpse in there and hope for the best. And it's definitely got to be better than Donald Trump, right? I'm sorry. It's not better. We got to get this shit figured out. Yeah. So, speaking of Donald Trump, big dick Donald Trump. That's just fun to say.
It's fun.
On Morning Joe, again, this is another sign of the desperation of times and just the breaking down of the, I don't know, the woke fabric or what have you. But on Morning Joe, they discussed what would happen, the very real concerns about what would happen if we allow big dick Donald Trump to get back into office. And here's the very reasonable, rational response that they had.
Have a responsibility to really tune out the voices of the haters, of the people that are constantly double
shilling
and triple
for
checking and shilling for him and suggesting that somehow they're being biased, bending over backwards, treating him like a normal candidate. He's not a normal candidate. He is running to end American democracy.
Yeah. I just feel like I hope that when these people are having breakfast in the morning, that this is how they talk at the breakfast table. Mm-hmm. And she just, like, it's mostly him, and every once in a while she just goes, "It's sick. It's just sick.
It's disgusting.
He's just shilling. It's not. It's sick."
Yes. She has a lot of input there.
As we know it, he's an authoritarian who a court in Colorado 2 days ago ruled that he led an insurrection against the United States government. He's charged.
I mean, this is like a week after the January 6th tapes came out that showed everybody just getting escorted through, and still just keep going, keep just pretending like this is all they have, and he's just getting started.
Leading schemes to help overthrow the United States government. So if they want to frame it that way, that's fine. If you want to be fair, then you will frame this as Joe Biden being the candidate that supports American democracy, and Donald Trump, a candidate who supports a new form of government here that's authoritarian. It's really that simple. And by the way, Reverend Al, when people go, "Oh,"
what?
It's simple. It's very clear cut. If you vote for anyone else other than the one guy that we have pre-selected for you, you're a fascist.
Yes. And that one guy broke Michael Rapaport's brain. Like, it's black and white. It's good and evil. It's Israel and Palestine. It's Ukraine and Russia. It's Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Well, maybe there's a little bit of nuance to where Donald Trump is not the end-all evil and Joe Biden is not the end-all good. Like, imagine having a brain that thinks that Donald Trump is the end-all evil in today's day and age, and in addition to that, Joe Biden is good. Like, you don't have to think Donald Trump's good, but to think that to pretend, to lie through your teeth and pretend like Joe Biden is just the bastion of democracy and goodness and everything, like, come on, man. You got no leg to stand on. We're going to talk about smoking Joe Biden here in just a minute.
Oh, you can't compare him to past Nazi leaders. You can't compare him to this past Nazi.
She's just his hype man. Boo! Yeah, get him.
Leader or that past fascist leader, because he hasn't done that. Well, what hasn't he done? He hasn't done the things that the American judicial system did not allow him to do last time, but may very well allow him to do this time, or a judicial system that will be ignored by Donald Trump and ran over by Donald Trump to create the greatest constitutional crisis of our lifetimes.
Maybe that'll happen because we're saying it. He might even, I don't know, start executing his political rivals.
Because he hasn't done it yet doesn't mean he won't do it when he gets a chance to do it. And if he is voted into office, then a lot of these people that are talking about literal or figurative or whatever the hell they're saying, you're going to look like idiots because he will get away with, he will imprison, he will execute whoever he's allowed to imprison, execute, drive from the country. Just look at his past. It's not really hard to read. The only thing that stood between him and the destruction of American democracy was the federal judiciary.
So, if Donald Trump gets elected, I'm not saying he will, but we can't rule out the possibility, the probability that he will start executing his political rivals. That's where we're at now. He's going to start murdering people that disagree with him politically.
Bro, I'm not absolutely 100% on this, but I'm pretty sure before this guy was a CIA Mockingbird media puppet.
It feels right.
He was a congressman, I'm pretty sure. And probably before that, he was a lawyer. And you can always tell that these guys are all fucking lawyers by the way that they talk. Like, you don't know. He could absolutely do this once he gets. He didn't do it before, but he could absolutely do this.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolute conjecture. He's not saying that he did something or that he absolutely is guilty or that it will happen. He's just like saying these all, hey, well, just imagine.
Right.
You had a court in that last one, but what if you didn't this time?
Big super chat from Kate Paris. That seems like a solid plan. I love it. I'm all in. Just the hysterics. Like, all we have left. We've tried. He's a racist, a bigot, a misogynist, a rapist, an insurrectionist. We've tried all the, like, a collusionist. We've tried everything that we can possibly get. He stole documents. He got peed on by hookers. He said the N-word once, but we can't prove it. He hates brown folks that he employs. All we have left is, I don't know. He's a murderer, man. You're electing. We've got nothing left. Like, where do we go from here? What's the next step? He's a genocidal maniac, obviously. Like, I don't know. I'm at a loss. But you mentioned the lawyer speak, which brings up a point that it seems like a good time to introduce our new sponsor, Lone Star Injury Attorneys. LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com. I don't have an ad made for them yet, so we'll do it right here. Lone Star Injury Attorneys is an award-winning personal injury law firm that achieves maximum results for its injured clients, whether it's car accidents, work injury, or business negligence. The owner, Max the Axe. Hold on. I need something for that. Max the Axe. I got nothing.
Nazi fags.
I didn't have any good sound bite for that, but Max the Axe is a hardcore libertarian Mises caucus guy who loves what we do on this show. He called and like filleted me on the phone the other day, and I appreciate every bit of it. He really loves what we do here, from the videos to the podcast and everything else. He's also one of the best personal injury attorneys in Texas, but he's not just in Texas. He works everywhere. If you want to work with him, hit him up at what's the website? LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com. He's worked with the Libertarian Party and several others. He works with libertarians a lot, but he does not work exclusively with libertarians or exclusively with Texans. He will work with anybody. If you have been harmed, hit him up. If you've been injured by the negligence of someone else, visit LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com or Google Max the Axe. Max the Axe. I need to get something for that. And you will find him. Consultations are always free, and you don't pay any attorney fees unless you fucking win, like the Pilgrims did. All right, now back to the other button, which is... That's not it, but it's close. Oh. Wait, you got this. Okay. Yeah, we're back.
Nailed it.
Thank you. All right. Now, setting aside the alleged front runner, Donald Trump, Dave, who do you think is leading probably right now in the favorability polls for president?
Oh, other than Donald Trump?
No, just in general. You can include Donald Trump. Just who do you assume is leading the favorability poll?
This is unquestionably Trump country.
According to thehill.com, RFK Jr. leads 2024 candidates in favorability poll. Fun fact. Independent presidential candidate RFK Jr. currently leads the pack of 2024 presidential candidates with a high favorability rating among respondents in a Harvard Caps Harris survey. The poll published Monday, let's jump down to Kennedy scored significantly higher than the runner-up former President Trump in terms of net favorability. While Trump was viewed favorably by 51% of respondents, he had a net favorability rating of 7 points, with a 44% of respondents viewing the GOP frontrunner unfavorably. When asked about their opinion on President Biden, 49% of respondents had an unfavorable opinion of the president, while 46% of those surveyed thought otherwise. The president scored a 2 net favorability rating. Robert Kennedy has positioned himself to appeal to members of both parties, though it is unclear how much of his ratings are from in-depth knowledge of Kennedy versus his popular family name, said Mark Penn, co-director of Harvard, whatever. So in this, at least, he's beaten Nikki Haley, beaten Ron DeSantis, beaten Donald Trump, beaten Vivek Ramaswamy, beaten Joe Biden. Do you think there's any legitimacy to this? And if so, do you think that I don't know, how do you think that bodes for the Libertarian Party?
Oh yeah, we could get into that. No, I don't put too much stock in this man for quite a few reasons. One, it's The Hill. I don't know. This is, it's a DC publication. I'm sure that, probably has their own interest. And I'm not saying that those totals weren't accurate, but it's like, I don't know. Has anyone ever come up to you in your life and been like, take this poll that will be part of this Gallup poll?
Never.
Never.
We always hear about them.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't help that I live in the middle of a cornfield. I doubt they make it out here. This is
that might be
deplorable
might play
country.
something to do it. You might get a lot more people to participate in the city.
Yeah.
Right? So you might get a lot more people to vote for RFK in the city than you would, for Trump or something like that. And even in the rural areas, you probably get a lot of people who don't want to put their name on shit. I'm one of them. I don't like, So and especially if like my opinion would be controversial or something like that. So no, I don't put a whole lot of stock in that. And in school polls, when you ask kids, like, I remember, dude, way back in the elementary school, Ross Perot won all the presidential polls in like elementary school because kids thought that he was whatever cool, or he was the, Nader was popular, winning in like high school and college polls too. Yeah. So no, I think this is definitely Trump's to lose. But as far as the Libertarian candidate, yeah, I mean, this is going to be, sorry to any Libertarian candidates that are running out there, especially trying to, spark any kind of Ron Paul revolution 2.0 in 2024. I think with Cornel West and with Jill Stein and, of course, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., which is like American royalty running as an independent, big brand name recognition. I think that it's going to be a rough year for the LP no matter what. And, it's the Sunshine Patriots that don't really care about that stuff and just do the work anyway. But no, it's going to be a tough one, if we're being honest.
Yeah. I mean, RFK is definitely going to wipe the floor with any Libertarian candidate. Sorry, guys. Keep it going and keep doing whatever y'all do. But yeah, we are now the fourth option.
Dude, can we just park there for just a second?
Sure.
And I'll give a hypothetical. I know we've talked a little bit about it, but I could be wrong. And I'm not trying to put words in her mouth, but I think Angela McArdle, if she had her druthers, I think that she would like to see RFK as the Libertarian Party nominee, knowing that he is not a libertarian. Yeah. But the more we have this like radical arguments, like, what are the goals and, like, what do we want the party to do and what are the ways to get there? It's like, if you wanted to take a shortcut and get that, whatever that 5%, or 10%, I don't know, you could probably get 10%.
You go with a really well-known person in the political sphere, like a Bill Weld or a Gary Johnson or somebody who's not very libertarian, but has a little bit of notoriety. It's the game of notoriety.
Look, we could get further into it. I don't put RFK on the same level as Bill Weld, even with his worst, with the worst takes on Israel and everything else. He's not a defense contractor. And the work that he has done is already more valuable, done more for liberty than Bill Weld will ever do. So that's a better candidate. I don't care what ticket you're on, but he's definitely not a libertarian. The Israel takes are awful. He's obviously a socialist and he wants to redistribute wealth, across the board, has lots of social plans and institutions that he would like to revamp and make better.
The only war I want to go into is the one against climate change.
This is all awful. But I'm saying if your goals as the party and the people who keep saying a political party is not for activism, it's for winning races. It's like, okay, do you want to do that? You want to set up 2028? Then run him. You won't even have to do any work. If that's what it's about. If it's not, then we should have the discussion about why it's important to have an actual libertarian, regardless of your vote totals. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I mean, Javier Milei is pretty bold in his messaging. Seems to be working out. But we'll get into that later. Before that, we got to talk about the current, in my mind, my favorite front runner, because they all say they're the front runner. My favorite front runner is the Honorable Noble President Joseph Robinette Biden, which brings us to today's Remembering Biden.
And Corn Pop was a bigger big shot. Nazi fags. You ain't black. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Uh-oh. Are you muted?
That's right. It's Remembering Biden, where we remember all the things that Joseph Robinette Biden says, because God knows he won't remember himself. But with the hard-hitting big issues, President Biden posted today, my administration just announced a proposed rule that would ban early termination fees for cable and satellite TV.
Freedom!
Braveheart right here. Companies shouldn't lock you into services you don't want with large fees. It's unfair, raises costs, and stifles competition. We're doing something about it. That really, I mean, you've got like Afghanistan debacle, you've got Israel debacle, you've got all the falling upstairs, you've got the can't speak or anything. To me, I'm almost swayed to voting for Joe Biden if it keeps me from having to, I don't know, stick with my current satellite TV provider. What is this just desperation as well? I don't follow his Twitter feed that closely, but the fact that this came up at all in today's current climate, the president is talking about overturning termination fees for cable and satellite TV, something that is already a thing of the past. I have never in my life had cable or satellite TV, so I don't even know how this works, but it sounds like if you sign up for a contract and you later on don't like that contract and you have to pay the fine that you agreed to, that is the big deal that President Joseph Robinette Biden needs to tackle here. What do you think, Dave?
Well, I don't know exactly, but yeah.
This sounds like a parody. This sounds like a joke that a parody account would put out and be like, isn't it funny that he would think that this fucking matters in any way whatsoever?
Almost 4 times a day, someone has charged up to $100 for early termination.
Or the Sarah McLachlan commercial where it's like a man sitting in front of his TV just crying in tears over the termination fee for his cable and satellite television.
Don't forget, Joe Biden is the guy that authored the legislation that made it impossible to declare bankruptcy for student loan debt so that he could protect all the major banking institutions that are all based here out of Delaware. This is a bad man. So yeah, I imagine that he's probably protecting part of the industry, or maybe, like some corporation over another, like some kind of protectionism that might be tucked away in there if he's got, stock in Verizon or Comcast or something. Comcast is right over, only 20 minutes based from Joe Biden. Maybe he's a Comcast guy. Who knows?
So you think this is a message that was bought and paid for by certain groups?
Well, I mean, right? The corporations run everything. So why, yeah, I imagine
he's being anti-corporation here. He's taking away their $50 Dave, have you ever had cable or satellite TV?
Sure, yeah.
What is the process for these termination fees that is so abhorrent? Is it like you get charged $50 if you bail out of your contract or something like that?
I mean, some of these, they start off real cheap, only whatever, $40 a month or something, and then it might jump up to $150 or $200 after 2 years or something. But yeah, regardless, if you try and get out of your contract that you signed up for, yeah, you should probably have to eat that fee, even though they are sometimes exorbitant. Yeah, that is weird. But I don't think for a second that Joe Biden just woke up one day and was like, you know what, we've got to do something about these
I'm
people.
sure it had nothing to do with this post at all.
Sure.
But,
yeah. Yeah.
So there's a reason for, I don't know, Karine Jean-Pierre posting this to Joe Biden's account, which we know that she does. Yeah, it's a very bizarre thing to bring up right now in heavy election season. The struggle of the cable satellite TV watcher. Like,
look, maybe this could all be just a pure virtue signal to get, like, I mean, who does this affect? Really poor people. You know what I mean? So this could just be a voting effort. You know, like to just get people that, you know.
That's true. It's like we already ran the free healthcare under Obama. We ran the free the college stuff.
Yeah, debt forgiveness.
Yes,
I think that's a winner.
forgiveness.
That's what they should be saying.
Well, they already did. He already said that. And then he said he was doing it now, and then it ended up being a big nothing burger, as it always is. So it's like they're just like, what do we have left? It's this desperation of like, what lies do we even offer them at this point? Because there's been so many just in this administration alone that we've said we're going to do this and have done just nothing at best, if not make it worse on all of them. And I was just like, well, all we have left is you can watch TV and not have to worry anymore. None of that. More diversity. I don't know. Got nothing. But I'm glad that he's focusing on that point instead of focusing on stuff like this guy.
I want to share something with you guys today. I want to holler. I want to scream. I want to yell. But it won't do any good.
I want to dance.
Today is gear turn-in day for me. I turn in all the gear that I've collected over the last 4 years of being active duty with the Army, with the 82nd Airborne Division. 2 years ago, my unit deployed to Afghanistan for the Afghanistan withdrawal. We spent a few weeks over there. It was hectic. It was chaotic. It was disgusting. And it made me very disappointed in our government. Today, I'm reminded of how disappointed I am in our government.
Get to it, bud.
Go to turn in my gear. They want to charge me $500 to $1,000 for gear that I was ordered to leave in Afghanistan 2 years ago. Because as the last two birds were sitting on the tarmac, ready to leave, there wasn't any room for extra gear or extra weight. Therefore, we were told to leave it. Some lower enlisted dudes, including myself, were like, no, this stuff is expensive. I'm not leaving this. I'm going to get charged for this when it comes time to leave. Don't worry. We're going to catch you on the back end. We'll flipple it. No. It's time to get out of the Army, and they want to charge you for that. Meanwhile, we can continue to give millions of dollars to the Taliban. We can give billions of dollars to Ukraine. We can give billions of dollars to student debt relief. We can give a bunch of stupid stimulus checks. We can cut those to the American people. But we can't cover $500 to $1,000 for a dude that left gear in Afghanistan. For a dude that left gear in a place that you put me to begin with. The government is so stinking backwards right now, man. This administration's last priority is the American people. And inside of the American people, their last priority is their soldiers, their Marines, their airmen, their Navy. It's so messed up, man. I thought today was going to be bittersweet getting out. But I'm just so happy to separate. I'm very, very excited to stop serving my government and just getting started serving my country. It's sad.
Today is November 20th. This is the amount they want to hit me with leaving service, $3,561. I'm not asking for help, but if you wanted to help, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm going to swallow my pride for the sake of my family and post my Venmo in the comments.
Happy late Veterans Day, y'all. Yeah. The big issues, while Joe Biden tackles the big issues like cable and satellite TV, this dude has to pay nearly $4,000 because he served our country, quote unquote, and fought in a stupid war and accomplished nothing. And what he has to show for it is debt. Because they said, come home and leave your shit, and now it's on him.
It's like when the Ghostbusters saved New York, bro, and then the government came after him and was like, you need to pay for that mess.
Yep.
It's like, bro, we fucking saved you. We're your squad. We're your security force. You owe us.
Yeah.
Incredible. And as you said, man, the hypocrisy between the Biden stuff. That poor guy, man. And I'm sorry for making fun of him in the beginning. I thought that video would
You didn't know where it was going. It's all good.
I did not know that. I take it all back. And I feel bad for him. He looks like a young dude, like probably under 30. And shit, I'm sorry that you just figured all this out, my bro. And now you have to deal with that. Yeah, that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Awful.
Now, a little bit more Biden, and in the spirit of the holidays and the spirit of giving, as Joe Biden is known to do, Joe Biden made some very important pardons this week.
Before I begin, I'm going to ask for a vote. Do I free the turkeys tonight?
Sure.
Anyway, good to see you all. If you have a seat, please take it. It's great to see you all. It's a good morning. I'm honored to welcome to the biggest edition of this wonderful White House Thanksgiving tradition. And it really is. Going to bring them on up, or do I do it there? That's a big bird, man. I'm impressed. I hereby pardon Liberty Ann Bell. All right. Congratulations, birds.
Congratulations, birds. Now, what I want to see.
Now.
What I want to see is where he has the balls to do this Thanksgiving tradition, bring up 2 turkeys and be like, I now pardon these 2 turkeys named Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. Congratulations, birds.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Oh, this is why people, honestly, I can't believe we still do shit like this. Like, this is, it really, really is. Like, when we do stuff like this, whenever the government does, like, turkey pardonings or like the White House Christmas parade or like the White House trick-or-treating, I'm always just like, this is the hardware store operation that sells a couple tools and things up front, but like the main operation is all the mafia action in the back. Like, it's just, but some of it is so laughable. It's so QVC. It's so like Hallmark. It's just like, and I don't know. Maybe some of these things were cool. And I love tradition, man. I love Thanksgiving. I love, tradition is important. Yeah, but some of these things that we, I don't know how long the White House has been pardoning turkeys, but that's so fucking stupid.
It's gay. It's retarded.
I can't stand it.
Yeah. And just, it almost makes a mockery of the pardoning system when you're pardoning turkeys while innocent people rot in jail. It's like, well, these turkeys did nothing wrong, so we'll let them off the hook. We're going to go slaughter the other turkeys, but and we're going to leave humans to rot. But these turkeys, hey, isn't that cute? Like,
tomorrow, America will slaughter 100 million turkeys, but you 2 are the lucky ones because I am a benevolent leader.
That's right.
You're free.
Yeah, and they're getting slaughtered next year, anyway. And
sure.
They're just going to be replaced. But speaking of the problems of Thanksgiving, let's talk about the problems of Thanksgiving. And they're generally the same as they've always been. White man bad because white man killed red man. And, there is something to, I don't know, the historical accuracy of how we teach this story. Because when I was in school, I grew up believing that we landed, and then like on Saturday, we had a potluck with the Indians, and then everything was hunky-dory. So there is something there to be said about the historical accuracy. However, the outrage is just, it's fun. This is from greenmatters.com, so you know it's legit. Thanksgiving glorifies the abhorrent colonization of indigenous peoples. Thanksgiving has been observed for over 400 years, but the true story behind the holiday is far more grim. Thanksgiving is bad for a number of reasons, and the reasons are like, there's a new one that I haven't heard lately. The gist. Here's the gist. Thanksgiving is typically marketed as a wholesome family holiday. I'm not sure why that's bad, but okay. Number 2 out of 3, the true origins of Thanksgiving whitewash the holiday's gruesome and unjust past, erasing the true narrative of the Native Americans. The Native Americans who could not figure out how to invent the wheel and were killing each other before we got here. It whitewashes the gruesome and unjust past of them. Then the last one, which I was surprised made the list, the turkey industry. The turkey industry is what we're now offended by, because it kills 46 million turkeys for every Thanksgiving. It has become another brutal aspect of the controversial holiday. So what they're saying there to me is it has become another controversy that we can use. We thought of another thing to be mad about because there's not enough already to be mad about in this holiday to keep you from just enjoying some fucking turkey and eating pumpkin pie with your family and thinking about what you're thankful for, which is the only thing that the holiday is about at this point. We added another thing. It's Turkey Lives Matter. What do you think, Dave?
Well, dude, I think that we've spent, much of the past 10 or 20 years, talking about the war on Christmas. I think Christmas is doing just fine. I think the real war is on Thanksgiving. And that is because the corporatists run shit. They love Halloween because they can sell all their sugary products to all the kids and get them hopped up and be little drug addicts. And they love Christmas time because you buy all this shit and it pushes the end of the year sales and all this stuff. But what does Thanksgiving do? Thanksgiving, other than the 46 million turkeys and the turkey industry that I guess thrives for a fucking week out of the year. Okay. All right. But other than that, who's
we eat turkey once a year, right, maybe twice.
Who's
you're going to bitch about the turkeys?
Who's cleaning up on that? And to your point about the kind of whitewashing of history, yeah, dude, that is definitely true. When I was coming up in the 80s and 90s, bro, no one talked about, the injustices and the straight up murders and displacement, all this shit. And what happens, with everything else, is that there's a reaction and then the pendulum swings too hard. Right. So nobody was talking about how fucked up Christopher Columbus was in the early 1990s. But then the 90s kids started to talk about it. And that turned into fuck everything that every person that ever did anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It just becomes so corrupted down the line. So I don't know, man.
I like your point there, though, on the corporatism shit. Because this is the I hadn't even thought of that, but this is one of the only holidays, if not the only holiday, that's one that's celebrated widespread, not like Veterans Day or whatever, Memorial Day or that type of shit, but between your Easters that are now about candy and your Halloween that is about candy and your Christmas that's about getting shit. Now they've turned it into that. It's what's next? Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was already getting attacked because it was already being glossed over by first Christmas. We go straight from Halloween to Christmas decorations out everywhere, and then it was glossed over by Black Friday, which is just about consumerism. We took being thankful, a holiday about being thankful for what we have and what we've been given and family and stuff, and we're well, the day after that, you better be buying the fuck out of shit because we didn't get anything from that Thanksgiving day. And now that's still not good enough. We had to spread it into the entire weekend, and now it's before. If you go into Walmart now, they have Black Friday deals before, leading up to Thanksgiving. The holiday is Black Friday, if there is one in November, and Thanksgiving is
it's like a speed bump. They have to get by it.
It's evil because it's about being thankful. We got to turn that into racism instead. I don't know. It's just.
It's not even it's a month. It's not Thanksgiving month.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is not going to inconvenience you for a straight up month.
Yeah.
It's a day where families and
eat
friends.
Food. You gluttonize over food and have a good old jolly time with your family.
Bro, it would
Can't
never.
have it. Can't have it.
It would never come out today to start something like Thanksgiving because there's no grift attached to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's something to that. I like it. But you know what might be even more problematic than Thanksgiving, Dave? Might be even more racist, might be even more evil.
Oh, shit.
Like things that we take for granted on a day-to-day basis as being acceptable, but they're actually racist. Sleep. Here's where we are. Welcome to 2023.
Let's talk about the sleep gap. Did you know that Black Americans do not sleep as well as white Americans do? The Center for Disease Control and Prevention conducted and published research in 2020 on sleep in the US. The results showed that 43.5% of Black or African Americans had trouble sleeping, compared with 30.7% of white respondents. Black and Latinx people in the US spend 15% of their night in deep sleep, which is the most restorative and regenerative phase of sleep, compared to 20% of white Americans.
5% difference.
Wow.
Keep that in mind. It's a big deal. And do
She's
you know
upset
why?
about 5% shit.
5% difference. Do you know why, Dave? Why might these minorities be so oppressed that they get 5% less sleep?
I don't know.
Racism.
No.
Slavery, obviously.
Sure.
Poor sleep is a public health problem. Whether it's because of historical stress, maltreatment, or health inequities, Black Americans do not sleep enough. And poor sleep is a feedback loop, and the effects of poor sleep mean you're more likely to get bad sleep again. This sleep gap is worsened for people that are low income, disabled, or undocumented. Looking back to the enslavement of Black people in
she's
the
right.
US,
I mean,
fatigue has been used as...
I'm sorry. That's what I was going to say. Like, and again, I'd be cheering on 5% difference. But if she was going to say there was a big gap in that, I would have blamed it on economic reasons. Like, if you're broke and you have to work harder, or you don't get enough sleep, or you eat shitty food because you're broke, then you're not getting REM sleep. And I mean, like that's really a shame. That this young person who, has a British accent. So I'm going to take you at your accent that you're smart. You sound like you are.
Not only smart, but probably not enslaved anytime recently.
That's the problem. Yeah. She needs to be the victim.
Yeah. Jack Casey says, fake super chat, because the smoke alarms keep beeping all night, bitch. That's the reason for the lack of sleep. But let's hear where this stems from.
measure of control against Black people. This is why...
Wait, what'd you just say? Fatigue. Fatigue has been used as a measure of control against Black people. Okay.
Against Black people. This is why several campaigners and academics are pitching sleep as an act of resistance for the Black community.
Fight the power. Take naps. Black naps. Like that's what we're going with here. As an act of resistance. I'm not going to go out and protest or anything. We tried that and we burned everything down and it didn't work. By we, I mean certain individuals, not all Black, mostly white. But we're going to take naps as our resistance. What kind of protest have you heard that is lazier than that? That's worse than posting a different profile picture on your Twitter and Instagram. Now we're going to just go to sleep to fight the man. Good job.
To rest, even to take naps, is an act of self-care, is an act of resistance. So this Black History Month, to any Black person watching this video, remember to rest.
Okay, so because of slavery, it has perpetuated this 5% difference in rest that Black people are lacking over whites because of slavery. Now, if you go back to the beginning, she said...
Let's talk about the sleep gap. Did you know that Black Americans do not sleep as well as white Americans do? The Center for Disease Control and Prevention conducted and published research in 2020 on sleep in the US. The results showed that 43.5% of Black or African Americans had trouble sleeping, compared with 30.7% of white respondents. Black and Latinx people...
Black and Latinx people in the U.S. spend 15% of their night in deep sleep. Black and Latinx people have the same amount of sleep deprivation as black people, she is saying. So the slavery reason, can you explain that to me, Dave?
She should have just said persons of color. Different store, same groceries, right? It's whites and everyone else.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know why y'all are sleeping less. Maybe it is the smoke alarms. Maybe I don't know. Like, I don't sleep very well. I haven't slept well in a while. I'm very tired and congested, if you can hear.
Most people don't get 7 or 8 hours of REM sleep a night or 4 hours of like that doesn't happen. Most people don't do it because most people are overworked. Right. Most people take their work home. You know?
And most people are by the standards that are presented to us, most people are I don't know, impoverished, you could say, or stressed about making money and doing all these things that all the explanations, like the only explanation that she had that differs from poor people of any color is slavery is there. There's that slavery thing that keeps us from getting rest. It's like, well, I don't know. I don't care. Sleep is racist. And speaking of racist things, let's talk about capitalism from Barack Hussein Obama.
But just because an economic system generates wealth and innovation doesn't mean it guarantees a good society. Because from the outset, turns out market-based systems have been compatible with slavery, caste systems, colonialization, war, exploitation, corruption, fraud, autocracy, the poisoning of our natural environment. Fortunately, thanks to the accumulated efforts, bit by bit, of reformers and organizers and visionaries, not so different from many of you, some, mostly democratic governments, began to recognize the need to moderate capitalism's excesses, especially after the Great Depression and World War II. Governments began making public investments in education and transportation.
And they've gone great so far. All of that. All of that. All of the socialist programs. They've gone great.
Great job on the whole progressive era has been great. Yeah.
And housing. They constructed a social safety net to protect at least some of their citizens from destitution.
At least some. A couple. Very rich
Granted
ones.
workers the right to organize. Passed laws to protect consumer and environment. Enacted policies designed to maintain the integrity of the financial system, to prevent monopolies and bring the system back into balance.
Dave, thoughts? Capitalism, bad. Socialism, good. Socialism's going great. Capitalism sucks.
Yeah, more legalese from a former lawyer who knows how to double speak it up. Yeah, this is incredible, man. I mean, as he's pitching this, they try to lump in what they are, like centralized progressive ideology, right? They try and pin what they're doing on capitalism. Oh yeah, all these problems when capitalism just runs free. Thank God for these, community organizers and central planners and media people to come and kind of step in and like guide capitalism a bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, you said socialism. It's funny, man. Like that is only something that can come after, like in the revolution, right? It comes after the capitalists part. After capitalism thrives for a while, there's all kinds of capital built up that socialists can then consume. While the normal people don't know that, Rome is burning and that fat cats are just like living off of the dying carcass. You know what I mean? Like by the time that the whole thing has been hollowed out, it'll be way too late. But that's what they're doing now. Like they're using all of the wealth that's been created in this country since it started and just consuming it all, because that is what socialists do, is consume on the host.
And to point to like things that could result from capitalism, there's a discussion to be had there, but leaving entirely out of the discussion socialism, communism, and all the ways that has thrived throughout generations, like, I don't know. It's creepy.
Yeah, I mean, there's different terms for them, but, to give credit to Rec, he might use words like woke capitalism or, like corporate socialists, socialism. Yeah, corporatism. That's more accurate. I like Elon's saying, like this is like the extinctionists versus, I think he might have said the humanists or something like that. But that, the easier you can make the binary, right, the easier it is going to be for like normal people to like kind of catch on to what's going on. And there are people that want to destroy everything and people that want to build. There are people that want to decentralize authoritarian power and people that want to centralize it. Yeah. And those are, they're opposing forces. Like, I don't care if you're left or right. I care if you're an authoritarian or you're pro-freedom.
Yeah.
And these guys are just, the worst, one direction.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, we've been outshone by any of this, by not just the socialists of Barack Obama and the evil capitalists of Donald Trump or what have you. We've been outshined by Argentina. We've been. I hate that we're the last ones to the party on all the things. We pretend to be the leaders on things, but from theguardian.com, who is Javier Milei, Argentina's new far-right president? El Loco takes the stage. So you can see just in the headline, they're ready to, taint his name. Just far right. He's far right. I don't know. Dave, give me your thoughts on this guy. We've talked about him just a bit before, and I think the last time we talked about him, it was just me saying, hey, what do you know about this guy? Because I know very little, but I've got a few things that I want to point out here. So Argentina, for those that don't know, they just elected anarcho-capitalist Javier Milei as their president, and he is saying that he's going to cut 18 cabinets down to, or 18 whatever bureaus down to 8, and he's just going to hack and slash all the things that every libertarian presidential candidate says he's been saying, and then he won. What are your thoughts so far, Dave?
So, I mean, mostly good thoughts on this guy, and I've heard some criticisms, and I can, empathize with that. But I am excited that the term anarcho-capitalist is in the zeitgeist, and like that this is getting around, that libertarians can point to somebody and go, look, this is kind of how it's done.
Big shout out, by the way, to Ayn Rand for that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, she never gets the credit that she's due.
She does not. I'll say, if you're a libertarian who's saying, look, that's what needs to be done here. If we had that guy, then he could win here. He could definitely not win here. Because Argentina is not the United States of America. You're so much more comfortable here than they are in Argentina. Your inflation is not at 124%. Your dollar is not worth less when you leave for the day than it was the day before. Like that, you're not in that situation yet. So people are not desperate. So you will not have that kind of blowback you have not earned Javier Milei. So that cannot happen here yet.
Is it because we have not collapsed quite far enough that people aren't outraged enough? So you're going collapsitarian today, Dave?
No, I'm not saying we should race to the bottom there. I'm just saying, like, if you're thinking, oh, we just need that messaging and that would do what happened in Argentina, that's stupid. That definitely wouldn't happen. That's not to say that you can't look at that guy and go, all right, man, like these people do have an appetite for this. They do like that he curses on TV and takes up chainsaw, and
they do have a desperation for this. They are desperate.
Yeah, the appetite is there, and that is not there with America. Yeah. For sure. So America's not ready for a libertarian revolution. That's why we get
enough. So collapsitarian.
I mean, they're doing just fine on their own. They're racing to the bottom every time it gets worse. That's why the term most important election of your lifetime is almost kind of true, because every time it does fucking get worse. They are racing to the bottom. I'm not saying that voting will save any of that. I'm just saying it might be the most important one. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've heard some criticisms that, from guys like Daniel McAdams, who I like and respect, that think
what are the criticisms you've heard so far?
So he seems pretty chummy with Israel and their causes, and he will stand unequivocally.
Like the first thing
with
he came out and said when he got elected was, "Yay, rah rah Israel." But yeah,
and that's, dude, I'm sorry, but like that's way different than I would rather like that's the issue of the time right now. Like right now. So to say that as 4,600 kids have been slaughtered since October, it's like, like that's a big deal breaker.
Right. It was everybody before now. Everybody was pro-Israel. Now that this has happened, it's a weird time to be like, yeah, go get them or whatever. Like, continue. Sorry.
That's okay. I've heard. I think his picture showed up on the World Economic Forum site. Apparently, he went there once, did something. Rec talked about this. He's done extensive writing about it. He doesn't think that this is anything. He went once and never went again. So if he's anything, he probably is more of like a neocon shill. I'm not saying that this guy is the real deal. Yeah. You and I have talked a lot about limited hangouts on this show. Like, I'm still not sure if Trump is legit or Alex Jones or Edward Snowden or Javier Milei, but there's some stuff that you can learn, and there's value in a limited hangout. So
it's also a little bit suspect that the election took like hours, and then he was just it, and there was no like dispute or anything. It was just like anarcho-capitalist guy, crazy person who wants to slash all the government. Like I had somebody asking me.
He loves Trump. He loves Trump. It's like, bro, how good of an anarcho-capitalist are you?
Right. Right. I mean, if he's looking at it the same way as many people are, between like legitimately possible candidate and other legitimately possible candidate, Big Dick Donald Trump is still more anarcho-capitalist than Joe Biden is. I'm sorry. But yeah, like I trust no one. And I had somebody ask me last night, like, what's your take on this Javier Milei guy? And it's good. I have no opinion so far. Great that a guy with the title of libertarian or anarcho-capitalist got in a position of president while saying, I'm going to slash all the government. That's great. And that's great for our discussion and like our conversation as libertarians going forward. But it really, all that matters is what he fucking does. Yeah. Same as Donald Trump. Like, I was like intrigued by Donald Trump in the early years because he was like, yeah, I'm going to drain the swamp. I'm going to do this and that. It's like, then you get in there and you don't do any of that. I don't fucking care what you have to say now. Same with this guy. He can go even harder. Like, I'm going to get rid of the government or as much government as possible. And then if you get in there and you don't, I don't know. It's going to take some time for me to have that much of an opinion on this guy because I don't trust anybody. He could just be, I don't know, a plant that said the things that the people want to hear, just like Donald Trump, and is going to get in there and be rah-rah Israel or like pro-vax or whatever, hypothetically, because this happened. I don't know. So this is, so it says, also in a TV show Monday, Milei said, I am not an anti-vaxxer. I'm very much a pro-vaxxer, and I believe in science. He also admitted he had taken 2 doses of Sinopharm drug after thoroughly considering his options. To his disillusioned voters, he also explained he needed to get jabbed to travel abroad where vaccines are required, blah, blah, blah. Makes money through his conferences, blah, blah, all that stuff. So he fell through on the vax. He said that he's pro-vax, which, whatever. I don't know. Like, it's a little bit suspicious. That's all. Just, yeah, I did it because I had to travel, and I'm pro-vax, and I believe in science, and I'm also, like, hardcore anti-government. I don't know if it's this, but it feels like it could be. This is a guy that was put into his position for the sake of this is what the people want. We know that this is what the people want, and we're going to trickle in all the the stuff that we want also, and then he's going to end up being a Donald Trump who says all the things that the people want. Just reading the room and knowing what needs to happen feels like a plan. I don't know. I also don't want to be the guy who, if we get any kind of win, is like skeptical every time. I don't want to be that, but it's too early for me to give him, same with like Elon Musk to be like, yay, we got a guy who's going to make all our wildest dreams come true. And then he's had his goods and had his bads, but I don't know. Thoughts?
Yeah, just, a couple things. It's weird that I haven't seen a lot of like left-wing or progressive pundits in the United States like sounding the alarm that a far-right dictator is emerging in Argentina. I haven't seen a lot of that. So if you're not doing that, I'm like, okay, well, could be a CIA plant. The CIA has been very active in, South American countries for, its entire existence.
Yeah.
We're always toppling regimes there or trying to get people, to do our bidding and whatever else. So yeah, if you're if you're pro-vax and you're pro-Israel, those are two big negatives for me, man. As far as like the regime is concerned, like we can talk about what the regime is, but those are two big signs that you are team regime.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. Like I love these flying the yellow and black.
Yeah.
He wants to hack all these.
It's great for marketing on our end.
Yeah. But he also could, and this isn't from me, as other libertarians have said, like he is flying our flag. So if he does some shit that fucks with the reputation or fucks with the definition,
it's kind of like
libertarian.
RFK. Yeah.
Right. That's something to be aware of. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I feel the same about him as I do RFK. Like you're good on some things and bad on some things. But if you're going to take the banner and you're going to take the name, like I'm going to be skeptical. Prove me wrong, please. Like, please get in there and start slashing, federal bureaus and shit and do all that stuff. And then I will absolutely praise you. Same as Donald Trump. If he started draining some swamps, I would have praised him, but he didn't. And yeah.
Yo, it sucks. It sucks. But I'm skeptical of every libertarian that wins a race that's not city council or dog catcher.
We're not winners.
Wait a second. Already a red flag. We're libertarian won? All right, cool, bud. Good story.
You're a libertarian? Great. You're a libertarian who won? Fuck you, you fucking fed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And like, again, I compare it to the Elon Musk thing, which we talked about extensively when he first bought Twitter, where it's like he's going to bring the internet back to freedom of speech and all this, but he's had his hills and valleys and all these things, and he's getting attacked. I still don't know how I feel about that because he's currently getting attacked, getting like, I don't know, like advertisers pulled and everything. Seems to be like coordinatedly, where a bunch of advertisers just pulled out at the last minute, and a bunch of new advertisers like Tim Pool and a couple other like right wing ish platforms. Like Tim Pool, I know, said that he would buy $250,000 worth of ads, and he's not the only one. There's been several other content creators who have said that they will buy ads on Twitter to support Elon Musk. And if Elon Musk is evil, I don't support it. But if Elon Musk is like trying his best to buck the system, but having all this backlash and having all this pushback and sometimes caving here and there and not necessarily always having the right answers, I would prefer that. And if that is the case, yeah, I think it's great for counterculture people like Tim Pool or Andrew Tate to buy $250,000 worth of ads just to support having this freedom of speech. Andrew Tate said on that matter, I will advertise X on X. I will advertise X on X. Okay, I'm going to do my best, Andrew Tate. Bugatti, I will literally promote your own platform on this platform. $1 million USD a month. You don't need other advertisers. Simply let me know where to pay Elon Musk. So people like Andrew Tate are saying that they will pledge $1 million a month, not just for ads, but they're so like, we need to save this thing that we need to promote. He will promote X on X. He will promote Twitter on Twitter. He'll post ads about Twitter on Twitter because he cares that much about this platform. Which I mean, there's something to that where he is, even in promoting X on X, he's still like, that's a huge campaign for him because it's so bombastically outrageous that it's going to be huge promotion for Andrew Tate, which I have no problem with, respect, and regardless of your thoughts on Andrew Tate, I think he's a piece of shit. Mostly. The direction to go to just keep propping up X no matter what, or where do you stand on this, Dave?
Yeah, I really don't care about his motives, which I'm sure they have to be somewhat selfish. That's okay. But that's cool. I'll treat Musk and Twitter, like the same way with Milei. Like I want to give all these guys the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to operate as if I should be optimistic but skeptical, and that's across the board. I want Donald Trump to be the fucking sword swinging hero.
I want anybody, to be honest. I want anybody to do the thing.
Anybody
I'm just waiting for somebody to fucking do it.
Somebody fucking do it. Somebody put a bad guy in jail. Somebody put one bad guy in jail. How about that? Do something. Yeah. That's what I want to see. So this is cool. I mean, if everybody's going to X, and X is going to be, I'm still skeptical, but it's where I can go right now and reach the most people and say the most things. So I'll take advantage.
Be the most honest, yes. Like, I mean, look back, what was it, a year ago, 2 years ago? If you said men aren't women on Twitter, men aren't women. Like, even from the woke perspective, if you have any definition of men and any definition of women, saying men aren't women should not be controversial, but you would get kicked off of Twitter for saying men are not women. And now at least we can have conversation and have, like, this goes back to the beginning of like the cultural swing where we've got people like Matt Rife saying something and not backing down from it, just saying, no, I'm gonna keep going. Like, I don't trust Elon Musk necessarily, but if it gives any value, it's like, please keep that going, because what's the alternative? Truth Social? Parler? Like, completely failed organizations? Or otherwise, we have YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, just like post pictures of your fucking coffee and be a basic white bitch. Like, that is all that is allowed. That's the allowable opinion on the internet. Is if you're not, you don't have to be left wing. Left wing. If you're going to talk about politics, you have to be left wing. Certainly, you don't have to be left wing. Just talk about dumb shit. That's it. We just need to brainwash you into, if you care about politics, you have to believe our narrative. If you don't care about politics, you have to be brainwashed into being as dumb as humanly possible. That's where we're at. And Twitter it challenges people's perspectives all around. And it's sad to say that this is the best that we have, but it's the best that we have. So I applaud Tim Cast, and I applaud even Andrew Tate for saying this is what we currently have, and we need to make sure with any of its faults, with any of its flaws, we have to keep it going, because we don't have a platform that has any notoriety to speak our minds and say actual opinions and challenge people's mindsets, challenge the mindset of the establishment, if not for this, which is sad in so many ways.
Yeah, man. And it's still crazy to think about, like, as you said, like what you couldn't say a year or so ago on Twitter, but like beyond what they would censor you for, like what we know for a fact is that Twitter, I mean, forget about Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. We know those too, but like, we've seen the Twitter files. Twitter was a fully functional information technology weapon working for the government, period. Like, so it's weird to think, oh yeah, he just made a purchase and now it's good.
Yeah.
He just put up the $44 billion and the government got out of the fucking spying game at Twitter. That too sounds a little weird. But I still want to hope that, like, whatever, we're in the matrix and there's rules and there's some can be bent and some can be broken. And all these guys are like kind of still stuck in the immutable bylaws of business.
Yeah.
And if that guy came in there like kind of like a hostile takeover or whatever he had to do to figure that out, that would be like, I want to assume that that's it. But I do know that he is Elon Musk, government contractor. Elon Musk uses NASA's, facilities,
Believes
and
in space. Yeah. All the
right.
things.
And Neuralink, they want to do all this stuff, all the Tesla work, all the wiring of the country they're going to do for that. He's got 100-year plans just like they do. So they're kind of, I feel like, symbiotic at the moment. So I don't know why I jumped to, oh yeah, he took that tool away from the government and now they don't have it and now it's a free speech haven. It's like, I don't know. That
Not
might
quite.
be a little.
Not
Yeah.
quite. It's a step, but no.
Yeah.
And the fact that he said that it was that and then proved that it's not is it's something also. But Tim Brown, fake super chat, says the Argentina Perez looks like a Spurg Bilbo Baggins. Yes, that is astute. Danielle says fake super chat. John, I think she means Michael Rapaport, comes off like a crazy white lady threatening to cut her bangs.
I'm sorry.
I had to do it. I had to. I didn't want to do this.
Big Dick Donald Trump, smoking Joe Biden.
Jack Casey says fake super chat. Every time Obama does that closed mouth face, it's because he's trying not to laugh at his own words and hypocrisy that we're buying it. He also says fake super chat. Javier responds to the WEF stuff. He attended once in 2014 to basically oppose their whole agenda and then never went back / got invited back apparently. Okay, yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I've seen the WF stuff thrown around as a checkmate on any given candidate, and it matters like how they got there and if they're still there and what they have to say on it. I just don't know. One more from Jack Casey. He says, fake super chat. I wonder if Milie regrets the vax and has new thoughts on it since then. Big red pill for lots of libertarians the last few years. That's a possibility also. Jennifer Hobbin says, fake super chat. No way Milie is a neocon. Just because he supports Israel doesn't mean he's a neocon. Dave, thoughts?
Well, I'm very fond of Jen, and she's definitely studied too. So, yeah, I guess that doesn't make him a neocon. And he obviously, I'm more concerned with American neocons and what they can do with American dollars and sending them to American military industrial complex corporations like Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and Boeing and things. So as long as he stays out of foreign affairs, I guess it doesn't matter even if he were a neocon. Just, stay in Argentina's, stay with their business.
Yeah.
Take care of shit at home.
I mean, none of it affects us directly. It can only affect, I feel like, I don't know, it can't affect us negatively here in America as libertarians at all in our message or anything, unless he comes out as, like, the polar opposite. Like, even if he came out as, like, I'm a libertarian, then he ran like, I don't know, Donald Trump-ish, where he's, like, kind of anti-government, that would still be good for the sake of the name recognition that there's an anarcho-capitalist or libertarian or whatever president somewhere who is anti-government just generally. That would be a step in the right direction, even if he has some bad takes on some things. There isn't a libertarian candidate that I'm aware of that doesn't have bad takes on some things. So I don't know. I'm hesitant, and I think it's a general win for the libertarians here in the great United States for there to be that name recognition and to see that win and see that shake up somewhere else. But how it plays out will directly affect us as well. If he ends up being completely something different, it'll make, I mean, if he's like the first notable libertarian in the world, which it kind of is as far as like politics goes and successful politics especially, and he ends up being trash, then, or if the country falls into disarray or what have you, even if he tries anarcho-capitalism and it's like to its purest extent that he possibly can, and they are in more disarray in a year than they are now, then that weighs poorly on our ideals as well. And at that point, hey, we will have seen whether or not it works, because we don't have the opportunity right now. I just want to see. And if he wants to test it out, then I support that entirely. But one more fake super chat from Joey Two Guns. Is it the beginning of the libertarian arc of it's not real libertarianism.
I hear that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I could be the beginning of the arc, because that's kind of our go-to. But yeah, I don't know, like whether he's full-on libertarian or full-on ANCAP or what have you. Like, I just want to see somebody test it out. And
look, if he's a real ANCAP, the CIA is gonna fuck with him bigly.
Right.
And if he's not a real ANCAP, then he's already in bed with the CIA.
Right.
So, like, we got to pay like really close attention. But I would say, yeah, point to the rhetoric when people go, "Oh, I heard a libertarian got elected." It's like, yeah. He's saying all these things, and inflation fucking sucks, and look what it does. It makes people poor, and if you have all these bureaucracies, then wouldn't that be great? And we could maybe do something like that here. Like, take advantage of the moment, but don't put too much stock in that. Is probably where I.
Absolutely. And back to Elon Musk, because Elon Musk is in new controversy because we're leading into a holiday, if you want to call it that, if it's still allowed to be called that. The news is slow, so we have to talk about a Doge designer posted, quote, I try not to pick fights, but I do finish them, end quote, Elon Musk. And with a picture of him with a sword. I believe that's on the Joe Rogan said, probably. But here's the real controversy, the big problem of Elon Musk. He said, there is a large graveyard filled with my enemies. I do not wish to add to it, but will if given no choice. Those who pick fights with me do so at their own peril, but maybe this is their lucky day. Now, some people are taking this as a threat of violence.
It sounds like it. Or if, you could definitely make the case if you were an SJW.
You can make the case if you were stupid, yes, that this is a threat of violence. There is a large graveyard filled with my enemies. Now,
I think if somebody else said that wasn't him, that they could catch a ban for that.
Perhaps. Now, as a conspiracy-minded individual who doesn't necessarily trust Elon Musk, Dave, do you think that there is a large graveyard filled with Elon Musk's enemies, and he will add to it if given no choice? Again, this is under the stress of a coordinated effort to pull ads off of like all of his revenue off of his platform. I don't know. As an elitist himself, do you think that he has a large graveyard filled with his enemies? I wouldn't personally be that surprised. I lean toward no, but these people, if they're all in cahoots, it would not surprise me that much if it was that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like you, I wouldn't be surprised, but he's a smart guy. And even if we're being the least charitable we can be, and he's working with the regime, and he's part of the military-industrial complex helping and usher this tyranny, I don't think that he would be bold enough to be, zany on Twitter and tell people about his graveyard. Though, if he's been involved in a murder or two over the years, that would not surprise me, because you're a billionaire. And people get killed over, IP and stupider things, disputes. Yeah, that wouldn't be crazy.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's fun because the media will have a frenzy with this, because they will insist that he is calling for violence or insurrecting or what have you. And
yeah, he's far right, dude.
Yeah. Now, we have like one more thing, and I got a Javier up to have just a couple fun facts on him. Did you know that Javier Milei has not brushed his hair in 8 years?
Kind of looking like it. Look at the impression, flawless.
Yeah, thank you. I need the chops. I'll work on them. Gonna push out these follicles as quickly as I can so that I can be the second most successful libertarian in the world. But he has not brushed his hair in 8 years, which to me just screams libertarian. Because have you been to a libertarian convention, Dave?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to give him benefit of the doubt now. We gave him a little bit of pushback, but like anybody who has not brushed their hair in 8 years gets respect from me, libertarian or not. But it makes me believe that he's more libertarian, because fuck the system of hair. hair's fine. Just let it be. Let it do it at once. He's pro Bitcoin. He won by 56%. He had his dog cloned 4 times before the dog's death. He loved his dog so much that he had it cloned 4 times. Do you have any thoughts on that, Dave?
Does that mean that he respawned a dog and he's got 3 in the bank when that one goes?
I think so. And if that is the case, I want to know what those, 3 to 4 dogs are doing, just hanging out, waiting for their time to shine.
Right, like eggs kind of just waiting in the freezer there. That's crazy, kind of on the transhumanist tip. Not a whole lot of respect for nature there, which I don't know. I don't love it, but I just lost my dog in February, so part of me is like, well,
would you have cloned it? Would you have cloned her 4 times?
No, I don't. I mean, that doesn't seem right.
It's pretty libertarian though, on paper.
Yo, we're looking at a future, man, where AI will be able to put your dead relatives right in front of your face and talk to you and that is terrifying. That's talk about unnatural, man. You're supposed to die and grieve and move on and do other things what that will do to the psyche over, a generation or 2. I mean, who knows, but that's crazy. The dog, I'm not as, that's just weird. That's weird.
A little bit, which I mean, again, I don't love it, but it doesn't make me think he's less libertarian, certainly, if anything more. Not all of these are pros, but just if you want to trust him, it seems very, very anarcho-capitalist to me. But Kate Paris says, fake super chat, the dogs, they all 4 are living right now with him. So he's got, his dog. It's like if you had a kid, and you're like, I like this kid, and this kid's going to die, so I'm going to get 4 more of this kid, and then I'll just see which one works out in the end. Yeah. I don't know how to feel about it. I've got animals that I love, and I can't imagine being like, well, that one was so great. While it's still alive, I'm going to milk a little bit of him out of this cat or whatever. It would be a cat in my circumstance. And have 4 cats that look just like him and try and figure out which one is the most like him. I don't know, just whichever one works out, they're the new cat. It's odd. But
cat, there's so many other cats out there that could use your home and your love. Why do you love that one genetic sequence so much that you had to fucking copy it 4 times?
Right.
Is there any kind of, I know, I don't know, animals get the non-aggression principle to a certain degree, right? Like your dog, right? You don't just get to punch your dog in the face. Do you get to I don't know, is there any kind of libertarian argument there for against, you wouldn't clone your kid without talking, you wouldn't do that. Is that a violation of that?
Would you not? Is it? You wouldn't clone your kid without talking to the kid?
Well, even if you did, that kid consent to you cloning your kid? I know. It's tough. Tough areas we're getting into here.
Yep.
But legit things that, in the next 20 years or so, people might have to contend with.
He was also Mick Jagger in a Rolling Stones cover band. I don't know if that gives you any bonus points on him, Dave.
Actually, it does. And I want to see the footage of that.
Me too.
That makes me think he's a cool dude.
If anybody has the footage, dan@tsidpod.com, send it. Yeah, he's pro Bitcoin. Obviously, we like that. He said he will cut the number of federal ministries from 18 to 8. And again, good that you're saying that. Even good that is even being discussed. Even if you don't do it, good. Now I will reserve judgment on you until I see you do something.
Yeah.
It's still early, so I'm not whatever, calling against anything. But he also said that he would loosen gun restrictions, and he's in favor of, again, libertarian, people selling their organs, vital organs, even if they so choose. How do you feel about that, Dave? And does it weigh in at all on your trans thoughts?
Yeah, the ANCAP in me is well, you own yourself. But I'm also hyper aware of what propaganda can do and what economic circumstances can do. So that I think 1 in 6 deaths, I could be off on these stats. Check me on this. But way too many deaths in Canada were because they went to MAID. MAID is the assisted death service in Canada. So if you're just kind of unhealthy at 60 and you're having trouble getting around and can't pay your bills, you might want to consider this option. Die. We'll help you out. So
a corporatism
I
investment, like
right,
anything
like
but
if you're
Thanksgiving.
This sounds like something that the elites would love. And as you know, the middle class is decimated across the globe, there will be just the poors who can have to sell their fucking kidneys to the rich people who can afford it, to the laptop class who can afford it, while you die young. Because fuck, I guess you're just not, it's the race gap for naps. So watch that.
Yeah, I don't know. Keep an eye on him. That's all. Just if he does it, great. If he doesn't do it,
I am not pro that. I don't know. I have to learn more about it, and I'll talk with more libertarians about this. But I'm not pro selling your organs for I don't see it. I don't see how this could be good.
I don't know. It's the same as like any of the issues, like sex work and all that stuff. Like, I think you should have the right to make very stupid decisions, but I don't necessarily know or think that it will bode well on society at large. I think it should be shunned, it should be disgraced, and you should be allowed to make very stupid, disgraceful decisions in your life. I don't know. But we're gonna end on we're gonna wrap this Thanksgiving episode up with just one more bit of white people angry at white people for white people things, and we're gonna discuss in this Joe Biden's economy the problem of gasoline briefly, and then we're gonna go celebrate families and not genocide. Okay, so this is just some white woman on TikTok. Here's the very coherent point that she has to make. If it plays, it's not gonna play.
$98 fucking dollars to fill up the tank today. $98 fucking dollars. $98 fucking dollars. I have to decide between buying gas or buying food. And guess who wins? Because I have to get to the job that I need to fucking buy anything at all. That doesn't pay me enough. And people want to donate $1,000 to fucking cats. $98 goddamn dollars at Costco to fill up my tank. $98. $5.50 a tank. $5.50 a gallon at Costco. $5.50 a gallon at Costco. This is the work of the fucking religious right. Listen to Robert Reich, who clearly gives us all of the evidence about how our poverty is a choice that our government made for us. A CEO is not worth 351 times what I get paid.
Now go start a business, become the CEO, and see if you still agree with your decision. There. Somebody who started the business is not worth more than me, a Starbucks employee who screams about gasoline on the internet.
Ever. Fuck you, religious right, who are doing this and have been doing this to us. Fuck you, profiteering companies. Fuck you, billionaires, stealing us, breaking our backs, stealing from us, profiteering off of us. Let me repeat, I have to decide between buying food or gas. Guess which one wins?
So it's the religious rights problem that this bitch has to pay extra for gasoline. Can legitimately, Dave, all devil's advocate, just giving her all benefit of the doubt, can you explain her argument to me even a little bit?
Actually, I'm well equipped to do that, dude, because I used to be this bitch, except less annoying. But I would have considered myself on her team. Sure, let me explain. All of the fat cats, all the boards, all of the CEOs are right-wing capitalists.
But religious right, specifically.
Sure, yeah. Well, they're obviously very Christian, too. Imagine that. And God, this ingrate. It's so sad because, there's a part of me, because I'm a human being, that understands her plight. And I understand your grievance. The rent is too damn high.
Yep.
Like everybody understands. That's the basic bitch shit. But if you don't scratch past that surface, you're always going to come up with retarded answers like the Christian right is the reason my gas costs this and I can't afford food. You're a fucking retard. And you promoted poor fucking policies and promoted corporatists to the highest level of government, and you cheered them on. And for 2 years, you cheered on the government that shut down the economy, while economists like Robert Reich said, no, it's okay. You can just do it because we're a magic horn of plenty that just cranks out money, and we'll just send you money. And now you have money because we sent you money. Because you don't know how the world works. And that's why gasoline costs that much. That's why your food costs that much. Because you were such an ingrate for so long. And now you're crying in your car making TikTok videos as an adult because you don't know the fucking basics of this shit. Damn. I mean, it literally is your fault. So I feel for her a little bit, but yeah, I was waiting for it. As soon as if we would just listen to Robert Reich. Oh my God. Like, you're the problem. This bitch is tuned in to Stephen King, Rob Reiner, Robert Reich, and she's getting all the worst information.
Former Michael Rapaport.
Yeah, exactly. We got to do something about the food and the gas.
The gas is too damn high.
Yeah,
it's religious right bullshit. Pig dick Donald Trump.
Amazing. And that's not the, if you want to talk, that's the thing. Joel Osteen is a crook, but he's definitely not the reason your gas costs that or that food costs that. That in no way is that connected at all. Or even corporate greed is connected to that at all. It is strictly economic policy. It is strictly that 80% of the dollars in circulation were printed in 2021 and 2022, that your savings aren't shit, and that you can't afford to pay your fucking bills. That's why.
Well, at least with the people that she voted for, we won't have to pay to get out of our contracts with cable and satellite television. Baby steps.
Silver lining, bro.
Yeah. I mean, keep going. Keep pushing for it. Joe Biden, 2024. I'm down, baby. Let's do this. Like, maybe we'll get a Javier Milei as soon as we're done just collapsing this entire fucking thing. I'm not a collapsitarian. I'm kind of intrigued by the proposition at this point, but I don't know, Dave. Are you more black-pilled, white-pilled after this episode? Are you going to go celebrate Thanksgiving and talk about what you're thankful for, or are you going to talk about all the oppression from this non-corporatist holiday?
No, again, just to take it back what we were talking about earlier, in the 90s and early 2000s maybe, I was that guy. Well, you should start to think about Christopher Columbus and what this has actually done and the colonizers and all this shit. And you know what I never did in that time was take a moment to realize how fucking lucky I am to be born in this time, in this place, to be with these people.
Even in Delaware.
Even in Delaware. In
as a white man.
Exactly, right? The struggle is real, son. No, that is life-changing. We can and we should bitch about the state. Yeah. Like that is absolutely legitimate. Two things can be true at the same time, though. They are perpetrating limitless injustices on us. There is awful things happening at all times, and I'm the luckiest son of a bitch on the planet, and that I should declare that every day. To myself and to those around me. And yeah, I'm going to enjoy it. I can't wait to see my family, dude. Absolutely. I can't wait to talk to them about not political stuff. And if they pick my brain about it, they're cool. But no, I'm not that guy at the dinner table.
Yeah. Now, in conclusion, go out and celebrate with your family everything that you're thankful for. If you're white, obviously. Tomorrow. If you're not white, take a nap. Be the resistance. Be the thing that you want to see in the world. Be the change that you want to see in the world. That is the only way. That's the only way that we stop this. Naps for blacks. Thankfulness for whites. These aren't my words. No. Go legitimately. Everybody, be thankful for what you have, and fuck all this bullshit because it is. And yes, there are things in history that are problematic, and none of us had anything to do with that. So go and be thankful for what you have, because it might be your last opportunity to do that. Who knows? Who knows what tomorrow holds? Enjoy today and stop being a fucking bitch. Just all around. Just everybody shut the fuck up and yeah, go enjoy your family. Dave, where can people find you and all the things that you got going on, man?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Dave versus Goliath 1, and you can find me on YouTube. Haven't done a podcast in a little bit. I've been working hard on this campaign. Kind of focused on that. But I did just want to take a minute, man, and say that I am extremely grateful for Rec and the opportunity that he's given me and the faith that he's put in me. This is a guy...
Thanksgiving about a political candidate.
And
yourself?
What's that?
Oh, you cut out there for a second.
Oh,
sorry, go ahead.
I just meant I have a short list of people that I want to thank, and he's at the top of it. This is a guy that sacrificed a lot, man. He had a paid gig with the Mises Institute that he couldn't do anymore as a candidate. He's a distinguished fellow at a college that they pulled because, they don't want to be seen with a candidate. He just lost his book deal because there's some neocons that hate his opinion on Israel. So he's taken lots of arrows just in a short time, and he's, I know, not everybody's cup of tea, but that's a bad motherfucker.
You can't say taking arrows. That's racist against Native Americans. But
he would be the pilgrim in this. I also want to say thanks to Josh Smith, who we're kind of still on the rocks right now, but he's been cool lately. I think he might have told his boys to maybe back off, and he said some nice things on Twitter about Rec. And, I wish him the best. And I want to thank him for, doing the right thing there. And Dave Smith, dude, I wanted to thank him because he was on your show maybe 2 times ago. And that was really special for me when he said that he was on one with Clint a week later and said, hey, he really likes the show and those 2 guys.
Yeah.
And
him and Scott Horton.
That means
Scott
a lot.
Horton just made up. And the boys are back in town,
right.
or whatever.
A lot to be grateful for. And Mike Heiss from the Mises Caucus, who stepped down so that he could manage this campaign. Dude, super grateful for him. I'm super grateful
while
for
we're being grateful
my
for
side
politics. While we're being grateful for politics, I got to throw in, I'm grateful for the politician and the libertarian that has taken the most arrows and has suffered the most in all of this, and the person who should be the anarcho-capitalist president of the United States should be the Javier Milei of the United States, which is Joe Exotic. Dave, please continue.
I thought you were going to say Ron Paul, and then you would have got a standing ovation from me. But no, and thank you, dude. Thank my side Dan and the mighty Libertarian Party of Delaware. You guys are all doing great work, and nobody gets enough thanks for their contributions. So I just wanted to express my gratitude there, surrounded by good people, and thanks.
Yeah, I agree that nobody gets enough thanks, but just saying it feels just gross.
Thank you, Dan.
Nah,
dude. Do it all the time.
Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks for doing it, but don't expect people to applaud you every time. So go follow Dave at Dave versus Goliath 1 on Twitter, and follow his show, Dave versus Goliath. And Dave, thank you for being here. I'm thankful for you, and I'm thankful for Joe Exotic, and I'm thankful for just any bit of comfort that we can find in the apocalypse right now, and any bit of joy and humor and passion that we can find. And hopefully you guys have found that today, and hopefully we can do it again maybe next week, if not very soon. Until then, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, enjoy yourselves. Just enjoy. Enjoy tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Peace out. Oh, it's not going to play, huh? Welcome to the system. Everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter. Okay. I don't know what happened. See you guys.